love about business that I don't feel like we hear enough of is kind of like identity, right? Well, I want to talk about that because I also come from a family. I don't know if your family comes from that, but where there's a lot of addiction. My parents were clean and sober their whole life. But what I noticed is being surrounded around that, there were different things that I think I picked up on. And I do believe that whether you are addicted to something or not, you can still have those behaviors. Let's codependency, even caring for others sometimes when you put yourself on the back burner and things of that sort. So how did you navigate that? Because I feel like our foundational growing up is kind of what we bring with us throughout our adulthood.
Your upbringing does have such an effect on like who we are, like behaviors we look at our family and our parents and we see and we do want to do or we don't want to do. In my background a little bit, I saw my father as like a very functioning person who really liked to enjoy his drinks. It began as like escape, right? If that makes any sense for me, because my parents around the time I was in high school, they really were kind of going through stuff and talks of divorce and all that. And I just didn't want to be home. I didn't even really know I had a problem until it was too late. I've done so much work since then, but I can't forget that that's a part of myself. I don't have the desire to use drugs or alcohol. Looking like within myself, asking myself, like, what were the things from my childhood? It makes me aware too, as a parent, like the influence we have on our own children. Like, oh my God, I don't want my kid to be in therapy one day talking.
It's very true. And it's like, I talk about this a lot with a lot of guests. It's our parents did the best that they could. My parents were raised in the 40s and the 50s. One comes from another country. Another one was raised on an Indian reservation and went through like all of the different things, and so they did the best that they could. What I hope is that every generation gets better, but we even do the best that we can, And so, but that is a common concern that we have as parents. I am the mom that's very, very blunt, and I'll just say it how it is. I have 5 kids, so I have 4 boys. And my biggest fear was like, we're going to be getting information from young kids at school.
Yes.
At that time, I didn't have my husband. So I was like, the best thing that I can do for them is just tell them straight up what it is. And it served me well. And I do feel like what you said was so impactful.
Yes.
And for you guys to be able to say, I'm human, I've made mistakes, crap, I'm sorry, like I messed up, I think is a great way to like model to them on how they're going to act in relationships or in all facets, friends. What does that mean to be like, I can do better? It's something that's magnificent when you can be with someone that is not perfect. You can accept them for who they are, but then they want to be better. They want to recognize their, where they need to make those improvements and stuff. So it sounds very simple, but being a mom myself, my kids are the same way. They'll call me out sometimes. Very like, listen, I am your mom, so come at me correctly.
Yeah.
I was a young mom, so sometimes like me and my oldest used to like go at it, be like, Mom, what if I die before you? Like, we're so close in age. He used to say funny things, but he was like my best friend growing up. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's amazing because being authentic, being real, that's what you guys brought to the industry. This is the stuff that people don't want to talk about, but the authenticity that you guys have carried personally over to your business, I think it's going to go big and huge, but it's really been impactful to a lot of people.
They know our background, they know our stories, and I think that that's real. I think you'll always get farther if you're who you are and you're honest. How inspiring is that to hear Eric have a story of being a drug addict to come toward having a very successful business that we almost sold to, starting over, being a team, and then just not giving up. Right. Yeah. And to just keep going. And I think that like one person on their own that doesn't even have a team or a partner or any of that, like, I think that's really important message to give, that we do all come from different backgrounds, that we all have struggles. Right. And but like, how do we overcome that? And it doesn't have to be drug addiction. It could be something simple. Right. So I think that like that message of like being able to overcome and to not give up. I think a lot of successful people out there, I mean, so many, people that have these incredible companies.
I always share this quote because it's my favorite quote, and I love Brene Brown, and I think we talked about this. I love her. And I think this is something that I share because I want people to hear it over and over, and maybe they already have, but I know growing into my career, obviously there's different stages you go through in your 20s and your 30s. I love my 40s. And I think that's so important for people to understand is while you are going through your journey is making sure that you're talking to people that are in the arena with you, dusting their knees off, getting back up, and not giving up. Spectators, they don't understand that. They don't understand the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship, which really funnels people out really quickly because entrepreneurship attracts a big crowd. Great on Instagram. it looks great on all the cars and all the nice things, but they don't realize that it's hard.
Oh yeah.
It's so very hard.